With more than 130 dealerships located in 40 different countries, the brand Rolls-Royce is well known all over the world. Funny to think that it all began with a struggling young person who was passionate about invention. Nobody could have predicted Henry Royce, a country lad who first began fiddling with engines, would one day produce some of the most costly automobiles in the world. And when he at last ran into his fearless partner, history was created. This is Luxurious and Chic. And make sure to watch until the end to find out how Henry Royce turned his life around, literally from rags to riches. Hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. Frederick Henry Royce. Frederick Henry Royce was born in Alwolton, England in 1863, the youngest of 5 kids of James and Mary Royce. His parents owned a flour mill. James carried on his father's legacy, but he lacked business skills. The Royce family struggled financially for many years as a result of the low profits. As a result of things getting worse, they had to declare bankruptcy in 1867. The family relocated to London in an effort to improve their life situation. Henry, 4 years old at that time, got his first job as a bird scarer on a nearby farm. His weekly salary was 6 pence. Then in 1872, another catastrophe occurred. The father of Henry passed away. Now all the kids, including the 9-year-old Henry, had to pitch in to help the family make ends meet. He started delivering telegrams and selling newspapers. Because of his upbringing in poverty, Henry had only finished 1 year of school by the time he was 15 years old. He started an apprenticeship at the Great Northern Railway Works as a young adolescent. Henry took advantage of every opportunity to educate himself, despite not having a formal education, studying French, algebra, and electrical engineering in his spare time. His aunt had given him some financial assistance. However, he was compelled to discontinue after 3 years because of a lack of funding. Henry temporarily worked in a tool manufacturing company in Leeds after leaving his apprenticeship before moving to London to work for the Electric Light and Power Company. He relocated once more in 1882, this time to Liverpool, where he carried on his employment with the Electric Light and Power Company. However, his ultimate goal was to make engineering his full-time profession. So at the age of 22, he founded a company with Ernest Claremont, a friend and fellow engineer. It was given the name of F.H. Royce and Company, and during the following years, they worked non-stop to create electrical parts like doorbells and dynamos. The business continued to grow, and by 1894, they were also producing electric cranes. However, Henry's focus began to veer towards automobiles. Charles Stewart Rolls. The name of the company suggests there is another person we shouldn't overlook, even though Henry Royce is an important part of the Rolls-Royce tale. Charles Stewart Rolls is the person in question. The youngest child of Lord and Lady Langattock, Charles Royce was born in the posh Berkeley Square neighborhood of London. He went on to attend mechanical engineering at Trinity College in Cambridge after discovering an early affinity for engineering. He even received the moniker Dirty Rolls for his notoriety for fiddling with engines. And while he was a student, he was the first undergraduate to acquire a car after traveling to Paris at the age of 18 to purchase a Peugeot Phaeton. This was highly unusual at the time because most people hadn't even heard of cars. Charles started working on a steam yacht after graduating in 1898 before moving on to London and North Western Railway. But his passion for sales and the development of the motor industry led him to create one of the first car shops in Britain in 1903 with financial assistance from his father. He gave the business the name C.S. Rolls & Co. and devoted the following few years to the import and sale of Peugeot and Minerva automobiles. Charles used the money from his thriving business to pay for his sporting endeavors. He was not only a passionate racer and pioneer driver, but he was also a passionate aviator, and as you might imagine, both of these pastimes are anything but inexpensive. Charles, though, would soon lose more than just his money as a result of his lifelong devotion. Royce meets Rolls. Henry's interest in automobiles grew as he ran his business, F.H. Royce and Company. He made the decision in 1901 to upgrade a used 2-cylinder automobile he had purchased. But he desired more, so he made the decision to construct a car on his own. He devised and built his first gasoline engine before the end of 1903, and the following year, he drove his first Royce 10 HP vehicle into town. Since Henry founded the business, it has been 2 decades. After the success of his first car, he decided to build 2 more. Of the 3 automobiles he had made, he gave one to Ernest Claremont, and one was sold to Henry Edmunds, one of their shareholders. In the end, it was Henry Edmunds who set up the meeting between Rolls and Royce. Henry Edmunds was Rolls' friend and a shareholder in the company of Royce. He started bragging to Rolls about having purchased one of Royce's automobiles. Rolls was dissatisfied at the time that his business could only offer imports, so Edmunds set up a meeting. Despite Rolls' preference for 3- and 4-cylinder vehicles, Royce's 2-cylinder car had a significant impact on him. He knew he had discovered what he was seeking for shortly after seeing it. He drove the vehicle and immediately decided to sell all the vehicles that Royce could produce. The pairing of the 2 men was rare. Not only was there a sizable age difference, but there was also a socio-economic and educational gap. To begin with, Rolls was only 26 years old, whereas Royce was 41. While Royce's skills were entirely self-taught, the young Rolls had benefited from a fancy education at the esteemed Trinity College. Additionally, Royce had been working hard to make ends meet, whereas Rolls had spent his early adult years racing about in his expensive vehicles. Would they be able to communicate effectively? The creation of Rolls-Royce. Despite the fact that Henry Royce and Charles Rolls were quite dissimilar individuals, they made a fantastic team, and the car's enormous success prompted the founding of the Rolls-Royce Corporation in 1906. Then, the 6-cylinder Silver Ghost was launched. It was regarded as the best car in the world within a year. Outstanding! As a result, Claude Johnson, a partner of Charles, assumed the position of managing director, while Henry and Charles were preoccupied with designing and marketing automobiles. He was aware of the need to improve the company's reputation, and being the publicity mastermind he was, he planned a number of stunts to highlight the quietness and dependability of Rolls-Royce automobiles. The 6-cylinder Rolls-Royce, not one of the best, but the best car in the world, was one of his earliest advertisements for the 40 to 50 HP motor car, and the advertisement worked really well. It proved Rolls-Royce's exceptional performance and increased demand for their top-notch engineering worldwide, and Claude was so crucial to the success of the business that he earned the nickname the hyphen in Rolls-Royce. Of course, marketing by itself won't get you very far, and Henry and Charles both committed themselves to producing the highest caliber work imaginable. But when it came to work, Henry in particular had a talent for pushing himself to the maximum. Henry had a reputation for working long hours without ever eating well. Unfortunately, his health was negatively impacted by these behaviors. Unexpectedly, he would live longer than his business partner Charles by a few decades. An abrupt end. Daredevil Charles' enthusiasm in aviation grew over time. Henry even rebuffed his attempts to convince him to create a design for an aviation engine. In 1910, Charles purchased a Wright Flyer and flew more than 200 times. He made history by being the first person to fly non-stop twice over the English Channel. But a month later, everything was different. The 32-year-old Charles was killed in an airplane crash at Bournemouth while performing a flying show. He was the first Brit to die in an aircraft accident. Additionally, his untimely death signaled the dissolution of the brief Rolls-Royce alliance. Henry would now have to carry on their legacy alone. Henry had a natural work ethic, and his inventive designs helped Rolls-Royce become known for its exceptional engineering and high-caliber products. He steadfastly adhered to his fundamental belief that the best design should be created with the finest materials and best craftsmanship. In his own words, strive for perfection in everything you do. Take the best that exists and make it better. When it does not exist, design it. The business expanded during the First World War to produce aircraft engines, something Charles had already asked, and the business prospered greatly over the following few decades. Unfortunately, Henry's health continued to decline, and he passed away from digestive system issues in 1933. His early malnutrition and a lifetime of overwork had contributed to his death. And the 70-year-old Henry worked right up until the last second. Literally, a few hours before he passed away, he created his final sketch from his deathbed. Today, the name Rolls-Royce continues to be well known in engineering. One of the most popular luxury vehicles money can buy is a Rolls-Royce. Additionally, the brand is well known outside of Great Britain, thanks to its 130-plus dealerships distributed across 40-plus nations. Presently owned by BMW, Rolls-Royce is still best known for building some of the most costly automobiles ever made, including the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Phantom, and Ghost. Since 2010, Thorsten Müller-Ottfuss has served as the company's CEO, and the success of the business has been directly attributed to his leadership. However, it was Sir Henry Royce and Sir Charles Royce's vision that made Rolls-Royce what it is today, a representation of undiluted, pure wealth. Do you consider Rolls-Royce as one of the quality cars in the world? Tell us in the comments. Check out our channel for more motivational business videos if you like this one. And if you want to know about the most expensive things in the world, look inside the lives of the wealthiest people on the planet, or how to achieve success in your life, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay updated on our latest videos. Don't forget to hit the like button.